People want to feel safe. They want to feel like they are in an environment that's going to protect them and their families.
It does feel like sort of fulfillment of the American dream to have a home in the suburbs, in the neighborhood that you choose to be in.
I don't see that as progress. I really see that as tokenism. There was a time when the population of New York was primarily white, but today the city's complexion has changed. One big reason is white flight, whites who fled the city for the suburbs. Now there is a new exodus occurring, but this one is a black flight, and it may be costing New York some of its best and brightest African Americans at a time when the city can least afford to lose them.
This old man, he played too. He played me black on my ship.
So it makes me feel a little bit safer. I mean, I know crime happens here, but the likelihood of it happening to me, I think, is less.
Barbara Flores is a lawyer. Her husband, Frank, is a doctor. They used to live in the Bronx, but last August, after being robbed 3 times in 1 year, the Floreses decided to make a getaway, fleeing the city for the safety of suburban White Plains.
Self-preservation is quote-unquote the law of the jungle. So if you have to do something to protect yourself and or your family, then you have a tendency to do that first, because those are the things that are important to you, you know.
On average, New York City suffers about 2,000 murders a year, and half the victims are black. In fact, 5 times as many blacks are killed as whites. Compared to the city, crime news in places like Westchester County is much less savage. And that is the allure for middle-class black families that can afford to escape.
Right now, we couldn't afford to stay in the city and be protected. It's expensive to be safe in the city, so we couldn't afford it, so we had to move up here. Most of our friends that are blacks and are up-and-coming professionals or whatever, they're opting for the suburbs.
Exact numbers on the extent of black flight are hard to find, but interviews by the I-Team indicate the tide of African Americans leaving the city for suburbia is growing. And that is leading to an increased tension between blacks who go and those who choose to stay.
Myself right here, in the last recent year, I've lost several families.
Perhaps the best barometers of the extent of black flight are the inner city churches, such as St. John's Baptist Church in Harlem.
It's sad that we are losing. I mean, we're suffering what they call like a brain drain. You know, more prepared, more professional people looking the way to get out.
Those African Americans who leave it really abdicate their responsibility for it.
Prominent black representatives like Reverend Calvin Butts are disturbed by what they see as urban abandonment by blacks who have, leaving behind those who have not.
Those who have options, a certain socioeconomic status level, tend to move away from communities like this one because they lack the stamina, the courage, and the commitment to build and to really wrestle with some of the social problems.
There's a quality of life that you want, and that when you work hard, you deserve to have. And just because you're a person of color doesn't mean that you're not entitled to that.
Martina Varnado finally has something her mother always